Hey everybody, welcome back to Secrets of the Lost Tomb. Sorry for cutting the other turn a little bit short. My roommate came home and we had to go get some dinner. So, let's proceed on here. Where we left off, it was Iron O'Sullivan's turn. And I was going to do a purchase action with the Soulmonger. I decided against that after thinking about it further. So instead, I'll just do a search action with him. So, let's go ahead and transition here. Go ahead and do our roll. And this is a green search, so we are at 1. So not the best of searches to start off our day. So let's go ahead and head back here. And I'll bring this back up for reference for everybody here. 1 on green is a misadventure. So let's go ahead and draw that. And pop that misadventure there. Before that, I will go ahead and use a third charge of the jug. Sorry. We'll do it after. Alright, so as you cross the small rope bridge linking this room to the next, you're blown over by a huge gust of wind. You fall into a strange rowboat. You do a movement check. Alright, so my Iron O'Sullivan's movement is a 4. Because of his machete, he gets +1 to misadventures. And I have +1 search since I decided not to level myself up to that next tier till after this. And Iron O'Sullivan will go ahead and give me a +1 as well. So that is 7 dice. So let's go ahead and roll it. I'll take that. It's a pretty good roll. Alright, we only needed 1 success. Transition back over here. The current is pulling you towards a lava geyser spouting up through the water. You row with all of your might to get to safety. Good thing you reacted quickly. Gain +1 movement. Okay. So this turns to yellow now. Alright, now, I'll go ahead and just use that jug, like I said, so before I forget, which puts Iron O'Sullivan at his maximum, which gains him the status trait Fearless and +1 strength. So, let me go ahead and grab the status effect of Fearless. I pulled it aside because I knew I was going to get it after I thought about it. So Fearless is right there. So I don't lose any courage from creatures anymore. Really good trait. And I get +1 strength, so let's get that on the board. And I will also go ahead and use Katarina. Throw her up on the screen for you guys, just in case you don't remember. She lets you deal 3 damage to any creature up to 3 rooms away. If the creature is in the same room, which they're not in this case, so not a big deal. So she is going to go ahead and do 3 damage again to that Shoggoth, the room right next to them. So that will do, it'll be at 6 total damage now. So let's grab a 5. There we go. Okay, and that will be the end of Iron O'Sullivan's turn. Alright, next up we will go ahead and go to Christopher St. George. And what will you do with him is we will actually initiate a trade action. I'm sorry, no. We will initiate a Soulmonger action. That was what I planned on doing. I'm sorry, guys. Still getting back in the groove. Okay, so what I'm going to purchase here from the soulmonger is not the Shadow Blade revolver. I'm actually going to purchase Fearless, which is the same trait that I have on Iron O'Sullivan, so we stop losing courage on him. Now the purchasing of Fearless, if we look at our little booklet here, cost 13 soul gems. So we're going to pay of that 15. Get 2 back. Okay. And we will also go ahead. You can also buy or sell. You can buy as much as you want or sell as much as you want. I will go ahead and I'm going to sell this tripwire. And whenever you sell a treasure item, you get 5 soul shards for selling. Okay. Yeah. And so with that, I will now buy what I wanted originally, which was the Shadow Blade Revolver. This is an interesting weapon. Can't see the top, I guess. There you go. So this weapon can be you can do either strength or dex with it. It's a one-handed weapon, so you can use it with one-handed either dex or strength. You get to choose. It's +5 combat rating, and whenever you get this, you immediately become targeted, which just means all the monsters are going to attack you first. And there's targeted for you guys. Okay, so now we'll go back over to Iron O'Sullivan's turn. I forgot to turn her. Alright, now I will initiate a trade action. I'm going to give the hand axe over here to Christopher St. George. And I'll give him the machete as well, so he has a good variety of weapons that he can use. And does he need to give me anything right now? Okay, for right now, no. Okay. Alright, so next up it will be Christopher St. George's turn. He will go ahead and move, do his move action. Okay. End of his turn. Alright, next up we will also go ahead and do the same thing with Iron O'Sullivan, move him in there. So next action we'll go ahead and we'll do a combat action. Now because we're fearless, we do not lose. Oh, I forgot to take the soul shards off for the thing. I'm sorry, guys. We do not lose courage because we are fearless. So what we do is we're going to go ahead and do combat. So let's swap on back over to our dice page. Let's go back here. Okay, so we're going to be doing strength checks for right now. So, let's see. Christopher St. George has a base strength of 3, plus 5 for the Shadow Blade, so that's 8. Plus 2 for the machete brings us to 10. And we have an outnumber bonus here, so that's 14 dice. And we hit on 5s and 6s here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. Okay. So we'll bring him up here. He has already taken 6 damage here. So that will be enough to kill him, just but barely, and we don't take any damage because of his combat rating. So that will be 7 soul shards. To Christopher St. George. 1 soul shard to Iron O'Sullivan. And courage bonus is half of that, so 2 Christopher St. George, or not Christopher, Iron O'Sullivan's already at 10. And Christopher, actually, because of his badge of courage, gets the full reward of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now, didn't transition back, sorry. Christopher St. George is in his +2 category for attack bonus. Only a few more and he gets +2 dex, but he doesn't really need the +2 dex right now until we can get another dexterity-based weapon for him. Okay, so let's go ahead and hop back here. This should be, I think, our last action, actually. We'll do another search action. Let's hop back over to the dice. This is a yellow search. So again, it's just a standard d6. And that's a 4. So 4 on yellow is an adventure. So let's go ahead and grab an adventure here. Okay. As you step through a portal, a tingling, popping feeling washes over you. When it subsides, you see a large round table covered in rotting food. Seated there are 13 dead warriors, clad in armor, and a king holding a golden sword. Perform a mythos test. Okay, let's go ahead and go to our dice here. Alright, so Iron has a 3 mythos, plus 1 to story checks because of the fedora, plus another 1 to story checks because of Sir Lawrence. So that's it. It'll be a 5 dice test. And we need successes of 5 or 6s. There we go. So, the king rises and you hear him speak in your head. You are the one. Save us all. Something floats into the air and lands right into your hand. You feel a powerful force push you back to reality. Gain 1 artifact. So this is the first artifact of the game. Let me give the deck a shuffle here, just to make sure we got everything good and shuffled. And usually these are pretty good. If you don't like it, or it doesn't work well with how you guys are playing, you can always sell it to the Soulmonger, and you get 15 soul shards for selling an artifact to the Soulmonger. So, yeah, so let's go ahead and flip it over. Really hoping for a dex weapon. We found the Seal of Solomon. It's an action. You get to do a mythos check, and then you get to remove 1 base creature or 1 elite creature from the tomb for each success rolled. Can't even see that icon. No, Swarm. Swarm creature cards count as 1. Remove all of their tokens with them. Bosses are immune, and then you return this to the box after use. Alright, last action here for Christopher. We'll go ahead and just do a search action with him as well. This is a yellow search. And I forgot to turn the dial on Iron to red. Oh, 1 on yellow. Okay. 1 on yellow is to spawn 2 generic creatures. So we'll spawn this guy, and whatever this guy. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we actually can only spawn 1 monster. So the first one we drew were venomous spiders. Let's get these health things off here. Okay. And we'll put them all the way over there to balance out the spawn point rooms. And turn his dial to red. And that will do it for this round. So let's go ahead and refresh all these actions. Okay. And let's draw the top card of our deck here and see what happens. Okay, tomb effect. All, so it affects everybody, cannot use strength weapons during this tomb phase. Okay. So let's go ahead and move our creatures. So now creatures will start moving because all of them can get to us. So we'll start here with the swarm. They move 1, 2, 3. Doppelganger will move. Oh, this room is upside down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this guy over here will move 2. This guy moves 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. They can't move down because there isn't an actual connecting door there. Deep one gets to move 1 space. Stone Spirit moves 1 space. Guardian of the Deep moves 1 space. Zombie moves 1 space. And the Maelstrom Soldier moves 2 spaces. So 1, 2. Okay. Discard this guy here. Alright, so let's go ahead and start combat. So, because Christopher has the most soul shards, he'll be targeted. He's already targeted also because he has the status effect when he got that. So we'll just go ahead and we'll start with this guy who's in front here. There you guys go. So, we'll transition on over here. Alright, so we can't use our strength, so we have to use the dexterity portion of the Shadow Blade. So, he's got a 4 dexterity, plus 5, so it's 9 dice. And we outnumber them 7 to 2, so that will be 13 dice. Actually, there's 3 of them, 7, so it's still we still outnumber them by 4, so that's good. So yeah, we still get our 13 dice. So let's go ahead and roll. Hit on 5 and 6s. 1, 2, 3 successes. Okay, so let's hop back over to the card here with our 3 successes. Alright, you'll see he has a combat rating of 3 and an armor of 1. So we don't take any damage. And he has an armor of 1, so he'll take 2 health points in damage. So let's move him back here. Put his health right there. We'll grab this guy next. Alright, this is the venomous spiders. They are a swarm creature, but they will attack Christopher St. George as well. Oh, wait. I lied about that first roll, but it's fine. We'll go back. Swarm creatures actually count as 1. So these 4 guys right here would actually have been counting against our outnumber bonus. I apologize for that. Little cheating going on. So there is in fact 4, 5, 6 of them to 7 of us. So we only get a 1 outnumber bonus. So instead of 13 dice, we actually only get 10 dice. So let's go ahead and roll. And again, we don't lose courage anymore because we're fearless. So that's 1 success. Not good rolls today. He has no audacity. Oh, we also should have been getting +2 to our combat rating. I apologize for cheating again. So we only had 1 success. So let's go ahead and go back. And we'll just roll 2 more dice. 2 successes. Okay, so with 2 successes, we will kill 2 of the swarms. We will take 2 damage, because we only did 2 damage. And I will actually make Christopher St. George take it. 1, 2. Okay, so we're done with the swarm. And I realize I actually just cheated one more time. Outnumber bonuses do not work in the tomb phase. So once again, sorry guys, but at least I'm catching these. Alright, doppelgangers. They're some of the harder things to kill. So their courage loss is based on the mythos plus knowledge of the current adventurer, but it doesn't apply because we're fearless. However, their attack base does. It's strength plus dexterity. It's the base values. So his Y is a 7 right now. So let's go ahead and hop back here and see if Christopher can roll a little bit better. So it's 4 plus 5 is 9 plus 2 for where he is currently at on his courage chart. With no outnumber bonuses, no cheating this time. 1, 2, 3 successes. Okay. So, with 3 successes, we're going to do 2 points of damage to him. There's that 2 damage. And he has a 7 attack rating, so we'll take 5 points of damage. I'm going to go ahead and throw that 5 points of damage here on Joseph Marks, the follower. So let's put him back here. There. Okay. Alright, we have now done creature combat. We didn't kill any creatures. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, so we don't spawn any creatures. Upkeep will happen. So I'll start over here with iron. She just refreshes. And the only other thing that we have to look, let's see. Okay, so Fearless does have an upkeep that we have to do every turn. So roll a die on a 1, you discard it. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Transition over, go back. 1 dice. There we go, okay. Alright, so now we're going to head on over to Christopher St. George. And he has the same thing. His only upkeep is the Fearless. So let's go ahead and just roll this again. 6, okay. Transition back here. Alright, so the search tracker moves up 1. Put in green and green for both of our heroes. And the comet track moves up to 6. So we're finally going to get on with the story here. Thanks for being patient. Let me grab the scenario book. Alright, there is a great rumbling. A horrible gust of fetid air blows like a torrent through the tomb, which trembles as dust falls from every crack in the walls and ceilings. A tremendous voice echoes through the halls. I have lived for 1,000 years, and I shall live 4,000 more. And place Raz Azul Ahmet on level 3 room tile, furthest from the Mongols' hall. Now we are equidistant from that. So we're going to use the figurine for Raz, which you can see right there. So a little provided. These are not the pre-painted ones. I just quickly painted him myself. So, alright. We'll go ahead and put him over there in the red spawn room, which actually has the rope, so it's a faster way for him to get out. Alright, so go ahead and I'll read the rules for Raz. So like all boss creatures, Raz Azul Ahmet can move between Mongol's Hall and Pharaoh's Hall, so that's level 3 and level 2, as if they were adjacent. During the tomb phase, Raz moves his full movement towards the tomb's entrance rather than towards the nearest adventure. However, if he shares a room with any adventurer at the start of the tomb phase, he instead stays in that room and combats one of those adventurers. In addition to their stated effects, the 3 potent talismans have the following effects. So the Staff of Ra makes his combat rating go down by 5. The Ruby Scarab, he can't use his special ability. And the Cowl of Anubis, he doesn't perform his courage attack. Okay. To point out, there is one thing I did wrong. I forgot. A lot of mistakes, so again, I apologize, guys. For the Cowl of Anubis, you have to do that Mythos check. You have to do that 3 times. You put a marker in the room. Once you do it 3 times, you get the cowl. We had enough delay in our turns to where we could have gotten that, but I wanted to point that out since it was a mistake, and so you guys actually understand. So, all right. Okay, so we have to get back to the Soulmonger's room in order to stop Raz Azul from just getting out next turn, since he can just take the rope ladder to the Soulmonger's room and walk straight out. So we have to kill a number of people. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is an attack action with Iron O'Sullivan, and we're going to use the Staff of Ra. Let's see. We will go ahead. We're going to fight the Doppelganger. So he has a combat rating of a 6, 4 plus 2, base stats, so 1 lower. So let's go ahead and hop on over to our dice here. So we do get the outnumber bonus, but let's see, so go back. Alright, so there are currently 1, 2, 3, 4 creatures in this room. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we would get an outnumber bonus of 3. And my knowledge is currently a 5, a base of 5. And I get plus 2 because of Sir Lawrence of Britain. So let's go ahead and do all that. Math is hard, guys. I apologize. So 11, 12, 13. So I get 16 dice with including the outnumbering bonus of 3. Yeah, 15, I believe. Math is hard, not my thing. Alright, roll dice. This is 5 and 6s, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ugh. This guy has currently 1 wound. Alright, so his current attack rating is 6, so I don't take any damage. He has 1 armor, so he takes 5 damage from that attack. That's half of his health gone. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do another attack activation. So the Doppelganger, we'll move him back here. We'll go ahead and do you want to finish off the swarm? we will finish off the swarm. So there they go. So there are 2 swarm counters still left on this guy. So his combat rating is a 2. Should be a pretty easy kill. So let's go back to our dice. Alright, so we're doing a strength-based attack, so his base of 3 plus 5 is 8. 9, 10 with the machete, and then 13. Outnumber bonus of 3. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 successful hits. And his attack rating is 2 with 2 health, so he will die. And that gives 1 soul shard to both of us. Change that out for a 5 here. Just do a 10. Okay. So each of us get 1 courage. Already at max courage with iron. So moving on, we'll do another combat action here. And we will attack that doppelganger again. Right here. Closer. So let's go back to our dice. Again, this is Iron O'Sullivan, so we're doing that knowledge attack. So 6 and 5 is 11 plus. Now we have the full outnumber bonus of 4, so 15 plus 2 because of our follower, so 17 dice. Pretty sure I did that first roll really wrong, so sorry guys. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 successful hits there. So let's hop back to the card. 10 successful hits will definitely beat the combat rating of 6, and he would take 9 damage total, which will be enough to kill him. So his courage would be a knowledge plus mythos, which doesn't matter because we don't get any. On iron, he's already at max. Okay, we do get the reward though of 5 soul gems, and then we get 1 soul gem to Christopher St. George. Christopher St. George also bumps up here to his plus 10. Okay, so that's another one down. So let's go and move that out of the way for you guys. Grab this guy here. Here's his current damage. And hop back over. He's doing a combat action, so we can just finish off the last guy here. So his strength is 3. Plus 2 for the machete is 5. Plus 5 for the shadow blade. Plus 4 for an outnumber bonus of 14. Okay. And roll dice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successful hits. Hop back over to the card. 5 successfully beats his combat rating, and it will kill him. 1 armor, so he would have taken 4 damage. He already has 2, so he's dead. So when killed, roll a dice. On a 5 or a 6, you get plus 1 loot. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Perfect. Okay, so we got a 6. So we get to draw loot. And remember, the special ability here on Christopher St. George is anytime that you have to draw a treasure, you can draw the top 3, and if any of them are a gun, I can choose those instead of the top card. So I'm going to do that because there might have been a better gun, which I believe we just got. So, let's see what we got. We have some good choices. Got this. And this. And we're not going to actually look at the pineapple grenade. It's not going to be useful for this. So we'll put that back on the deck. Okay, so we have the two-handed machine gun, which is +6. It can also do area combat, but you may only use this item once per combat. So I don't think we want that. Instead, that's good, but this lets us attack multiple times. So we will go with the 45 caliber 1911 pistol. Which gives us +3 to our combat rating, and we roll for upkeep. It has a 1. We discard it. So let's get him off the board. We forgot about his reward here, so that is 2 to Christopher St. George, 1 to Iron O'Sullivan, and brings him up to a 20. Get him off the board for you guys. One thing we did forget to do during the upkeep, I'm not going to worry about it, is you get actual 2 health back with the Ruby Scarab. So as you see, forget quite a bit, but not the end of the world. Alright, so moving on, go ahead and do our third action here. We will move we do have a lot of creatures coming up though. You know what guys, actually I just looked, we do have like a million creatures. So instead of the 45 caliber, which just goes back on the deck, I will take the machine gun so I can do some area combat. Alright, Iron O'Sullivan will go ahead and you'll actually initiate a search action. So he's doing a green search action, so let's hop over here and roll again. We got a 4. I'm not going to bother flashing that up for you guys right now. 4 is a +1 treasure. So now we go ahead and we draw, which we actually know is the pistol from when we drew the other cards, because that was the actual top card of the deck. So it was a really good search for us. Alright, moving on. We'll go ahead and do a third action here. Christopher St. George will move in. Oh, I apologize. This gun is actually with Iron O'Sullivan for right now. Okay, so his movement's over, so we will move. We will also move Iron O'Sullivan in there. So next thing we'll do is we will initiate a combat action with Christopher St. George, and we're going to use the M4A1, which also does area combat, which is what we'll be doing here. So we'll start with, what's this do? All Adventurers Room. Okay. So we'll start with this guy, the Maelstrom Grenadier. So again, we don't lose any courage. In this particular case, he is a 0, so it doesn't matter. But we are fearless for the time being. Okay, so we are back to dexterity. Christopher St. George did hit his +10, which is a +2 to his dexterity. So he is now a 6 dexterity, +6 for using the machine gun, so that's at least 12. Then the outnumber bonus. There are 7 of us to 3 of them, so we do get the outnumber bonus of 4. So that will be 16 dice. Oops. So let's go ahead and roll. And this is okay. So it's 5 and 6s still. So 1, 2, 3. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 damage, and he does penetrate armor because of Joseph Marks, who I forgot about when I think we were shooting the other guys. So that will be enough to kill the Maelstrom Grenadier. So each of us gets 1. Alright. No courage is gained because we're already at max. And now we have to roll a dice. Let's go back to see if he explodes. Okay, he does. So all adventurers lose 2 health. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So he explodes. And he is dead. Okay. So let's go ahead and transfer back here. Grab the next creature because he is doing area combat. So there he is. Skeletons, pretty straightforward things. So let's hop back to here. And again, it's still 16 dice because we had the maximum outnumber bonus. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 successes, looks like. Okay, so let's head back to the card. 4 successes is exactly what we needed to kill it. With combat rating of 3, so we don't take any damage. And we ignore armor. So that guy is dead. Which will be 2 more soul gems to Christopher St. George. 1 more to Iron O'Sullivan. So as you see, area combat can be very, very powerful. This gun can only be used once per round, though. Alright, so next up we have a Draconian Acolyte. Pretty simple to kill this guy, too. And the flavor text here at the top doesn't mean anything. It's just a quote. So let's head back over to our dice. Give us another roll. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes. Transfer back here. Combat rating of 2, health of 2, so he will die. And that gives 1 and 1. No courage gained because we are already at max. Excuse me while I take a quick drink. Okay, and that will end his combat action. Okay, so Iron O'Sullivan's next action. Sorry about that, laundry. I will do an initiating of a trade action with the, not trade, I'll buy from the Soulmonger here. And I have 10, 20, 1, 2, 3. 23. So with 23, that will let me purchase the Master of Time card, which is a status effect that gives you +1 action. Okay, so there it is. Put that up there. Okay, and I think we're good outside of that. So let's go ahead and hop on over here to Christopher St. George. He will also, so we got 15, 17. Okay, so what we'll do is he will purchase Lucky, which is another status effect. I'll put it in the card. There you go. That cost 14. And hopefully we don't roll badly. So now he gets on 4, 5, and 6s, so it's like he used an Audacity pretty much every time he attacks. Like I said, hopefully we get good use out of it, but we will have to see. Alright, we did get 1 more action, so let me throw that over here for our main character, Iron O'Sullivan. Okay, so next up, let's go ahead And we'll do a search action with Iron Sullivan. This will be a yellow search action. So roll a single d6. We rolled a 5. A 5 on yellow is an adventure. So we'll turn this to red and see what happens on our adventure. Transfer that back over, sorry. There you go. You find a giant statue of a bull wrestling with a muscle-bound man. The bull seems to be buckling under the man's strength. There might be a clue here. Make a knowledge check. And I'm pretty good at making knowledge checks. So my base knowledge is a 5, 6 plus 2 for my follower for knowledge checks. So that's 8 plus 1 for story checks. So 9 plus 1 because of my fedora for story checks. So that's a 10. Pretty decent chance we'll pass this. There we go. Not the best of roll. You notice a stone tablet cracked in 3 pieces. You put the puzzle together, revealing the new meaning of your mission. You smile with knowing. You get plus 1 knowledge, plus 1 audacity, and that's that. Alright, Christopher St. George will also go ahead and do a search roll. He rolls a 6 on green, so that means he gets to take 2. Oops. Oh, my cards fell off my table. There we go. I'm going to give them a quick shuffle since they kind of fell. Alright, so yeah, we get to take 2 and keep 1, but because of my ability, I actually get to look at the top 3 cards. So let's see what we got. So we found a serrated dagger. Whoops. There we go. Alright, so we have a choice between a serrated dagger. Oh, I'm sorry, we don't actually have a choice. We have a choice between these 2, and the third item was actually an equipment item, the Herbs of the Orient. So we don't get that, we get to choose one of these 2 weapons. So I guess we'll just go with the serrated dagger. Okay. Discard the Draconian Wand. Okay. So now we're going to go back, and we have this extra action now that we got for being a Master of Time. I will initiate a trade action. I will give him the pistol, and I'll actually take with Joseph. I will not actually take the follower yet to pierce armor. So he'll have a pistol, and we shouldn't need any of the others. He will pass the bandages over because that's a knowledge action. And that's good enough, I think, for now. Okay. We'll take the machete back as well. Put it over here. That way, if I decide to go on any crazy adventures, I doubt it, he can go for misadventures and not be worried. Alright, so that will complete the trade action. So, let's go ahead and start our tomb action for you guys. So, the tomb effect, here we go. We can't use dexterity weapons this tomb phase. That's not ideal. So let's move creatures. Alright, so zombie moves up 1. Deep 1 moves up 1. Spirit stone moves up 1, and he moves up 1. Okay. Creature combat. We don't have any combat that happens. So level 2 will spawn 1 base and 1 elite monster. Alright, everything's just falling off my desk now. That sucks. Don't really have an ideal location for this. So we have a Draconian Acolyte again, who spawns on level 2, and a Skeleton Pirate Elite Monster. There you guys go. We may or may not actually... Oh, we'll see them in combat next round. Oh, wait, I did forget. We do have creature combat. Raz Azul will take the rope up here, and then he will stop. And he will attack Christopher St. George. Okay, so let me actually move this back, and I'll put Raz Azul on screen for you guys. There he is. Okay, so we are negating his special ability at the top here. His combat rating is a 13, but he's actually at -5 to that, so he's actually an 8 combat rating, because we have the staff. And he doesn't perform his courage attack, but we are fearless anyways, so that doesn't really matter. Or at least, it shouldn't matter. So, he will attack. Can't use dexterity weapons this time, so we will go ahead and use the Shadow Revolver for strength. Alright, so we have our outnumber bonus of 4. Oh, tomb phase. We don't have an outnumber bonus. So, strength is 3, plus 5 for the Shadow Revolver, which is 8, plus 1, we'll just use the hand axe. So that's 9. 9 combat dice. And we do hit on 4, 5, and 6 now. So 1, 2, 3. Not a very good roll. So we have 3 successes that pierce his armor. I'll just put his health. I guess we can put them up here. Oops. He will be our main focus. And I take 5 damage, which I will go ahead and give that to this follower. Okay, sorry. So that ends the creature combat for now. Next up, upkeep will happen. Okay, so we have to do for our status effects and hopefully not lose them. So I will start over here with Iron O'Sullivan. I'm going to do his Fearless. So this is discarded on a 1. Not discarded. And do I have anything else for upkeep on him? I do not. Okay. So I will now do the upkeep of Fearless for Christopher St. George. 3, so we don't lose it. And Lucky, which also is a 1. So 2. Oof. Ooh, that was dangerous. Alright, upkeep is done. Search dials move up 1 level. Comet track isn't really relevant anymore, but that does in fact move up now to 7. And that's it for the tomb phase. Must go faster. Alright guys, that'll be the end of this episode right here. That kind of jumped into that other one, so sorry for leaving on the last episode and making that short, but there you go, there you have it. So we'll start the next turn and hopefully we will kill Raz Azul. Alright guys, talk with you then.